Hey guys, Coops here from the Whole Box and Dice, and this is the last of the mono-coloured reviews, and we're looking at black, because black's yuck. It's really yuck. There's some amazingly good cards. They had some strong cards in Kaladesh. They've continued that theme over here into Aether Revolt, and let's jump straight into it. We'll throw up some honourable mentions, and then probably a card that needs no introduction or further discussion, but for the sake of it, we're just going to cover it anyway. So, first card we're going to look at today is the 4th Bridge Prowler. It's just for 1 black. He's a human rogue creature. When it enters the battlefield, you may have target creature get -1/-1 until end of turn. Super solid card. Great for just finishing a creature off that they thought they weren't going to cop a trade on, or triggering Revolt, because it's an ETB. You can target itself. So 4th Bridge Prowler, neat little Revolt trick. And just, nice solid card, nice solid 1-drop. Probably don't want to play it for 1 on turn 1, but nice cheap card here to trigger Revolt. Perilous Predicament is a really, really good instant, which probably almost could make the main part of the video. At 5, 4 generic and a black, each opponent sacrifices an artifact creature and a non-artifact creature. 2 creatures for 5 at instant speed. I love this. Really, really solid card. If you're going down to play a pre-release and you see something like this, put it in your deck. You get some great value, and this will bust open boards, during your opponent's turn. Last card we're going to look at is Resourceful Return here in the honourable mentions, and it's a sorcery for 2. Return target creature from your graveyard to your hand. If you control an artifact, draw a card. Just for a generic and a black, drawing a card, so easy to get an artifact out onto the board, obviously, in this meta, and the fact that you can pull a creature back is super, super solid as well. Especially with some of the Revolt tricks that you're going to want to be pulling off. You can happily sacrifice the creature, knowing you can pull it back and then play it the next turn. So some really, really interesting cards there, guys. And there was a lot you could have picked. I really liked the little Hornet as well. There was just so many good black cards, but, can't talk forever. And wanted to start off, even though you guys all know this card, unless you're living under a rock or just hate black and you've refused to look at any of them. Fatal Push, the card is dumb. It's for just 1, just a black. Instant speed, destroy target creature if it has converted mana cost 2 or less. Revolt, destroy that creature if it has converted mana cost 4 or less. Instead, if a permanent you control left the battlefield this turn. We just saw how easy it was to trigger Revolt, even just for 1. So simple. There's so many other ways you can do it, that even cost nothing, like Evolving Wilds. There's just so many Revolt tricks. Being able to get rid of something CMC of 4, that's crazy. This is going to be a staple card. I'm sure the foils are going to go for a nice little amount as people want to fill out their decks with them. And it's just a cool looking card. And it's a super powerful card. This could be, easily one of the best cards that come out of the Aether Revolt meta. And I'm really excited to see the kind of brews that people put together with black. Black-white looks like it's going to be a thing. So does black-blue, black-red, maybe even mono-black as well. So Fatal Push, dumb card, great card. Can't wait to not have to deal with this when it rotates already, because I'm going to lose some creatures that I really like. Cost 4, so thank you, Fatal Push. Next card that we're going to be looking at today, and it is Gonti's Machinations. An enchantment for 1, just a black. Whenever you lose life for the first time each turn, get an energy. Pay 2 energy, sacrifice Machinations. Each opponent loses 3 life. You gain life equal to the life lost this way. Really, really solid card. Really like Gonti's Machinations. The fact that you can get energy off your life loss. Whole part of black is often, you're like playing a, lock in Hearthstone. You're reaching into your life pool to get advantage, whether it be energy, whether it be card draw, whether it be damage, whatever it is. You're always dipping into your life total. It's like another resource. It's like having a second bank of mana open to you. And this card is a really, really solid card. Obviously, in multiplayer formats, when you can gain a whole bunch of life from everyone taking it, that is great. But I still think in a mono-black energy deck, you're going to see a card like this just because it'll keep rewarding you. You get it out super early. It's going to reward you every time, when you play cards like the, Live Fast, Die Young combo. When you play cards like Obnix, there are so many cards that's going to deal damage to you, and you're going to get benefit from that. And this will just add further benefit in the form of energy here. So really, really like Gonti's Machinations. Bit hard to probably build around something like this at your pre-release unless you get a really solid energy theme going. But probably won't just see enough of the cards, but I really like this for constructed play, and I'm excited for the black decks and this is probably going to be one of the cards you have to come up against. Next card that we're going to look at today, and that one is the Glint Sleeve Siphoner. For a human rogue for 2, a generic and a black, has Menace. When it enters the battlefield or attacks, you get an energy. At the beginning of your upkeep, you may pay 2. If you do, draw a card and lose 1 life. Hey, so when you lose life, get energy, pay energy, lose life, draw cards, Menace. Oh, this card couples so well with Machinations, and it's just a really solid Menace creature. Menace hard to deal with in the early game, unless your opponent's going really wide on a low to the ground token build, and you should be able to get a couple of swings in at this before they decide to commit to some damage towards it and get some energy off it. And like I said, synergizes really well with Gonti's Machination. I like this card. It's got some sick artwork on it as well, so big fan of this girl here, and let's hope she can be a staple 2-drop in some of the black decks that we're expecting to see. Next card that we're going to be looking at, and just like the last one, we're going to jump into the legendary creatures and their expertise. This is Yahini, who we all knew. We saw him, the artwork pretty early on for this guy, and he's the Undying Partisan for 3, which is 2 generic and a black. He's an Aetherborn vampire with haste. Whenever a creature an opponent controls dies, put a +1/+1 counter on Yahini. Sacrifice another creature. Yahini gains indestructible until end of turn. Really, really interesting, this guy. He has some really unique abilities and a lot of text on this card as well. I like that he's a vampire. I like that there's, I don't know if the Innistrad cards are going to come back in some kind of variety, but, you've got some solid stuff. Drana, Kalitas, obviously Yahini now, so you've got some strong options in that subtype there, but it's just, he'll be an interesting build around. He'll be a really interesting build around. His abilities are just a little bit out of sync in terms of how you'd like them to happen, but really, really solid creature. And the fact that you can sack a creature and pump it, which will obviously have lots of applications where you'll be able to sack creatures and get benefit from sacking those creatures. This work really, really well. Whether you can see some kind of mold around this and things like Marionette Master, for example, buff this, deal damage to the face. I don't know if that's going to be a thing, but just like I said, there's been really strong black cards, and they just needed a couple of toppers, and then just a couple of things, early on in the game. And I think they've got that now. If you go energy with things like Machinations, and they've got the instant removal with things like Fatal Push, and there's some really, really solid cards now for black, and looking forward to seeing it, because it's been a while since black's done what black does, and that's to strike fear into you when you see that first swamp go down. So really like this Yahini card, but his expertise is super, super dumb as well. Yahini's expertise is a sorcery, and it's for 4, which is 2 generic and 2 black. All creatures get -3 and -3 until end of turn. You may cast a card with converted mana cost 3 or less from your hand without paying its mana costs. That's dumb. That's dumb. That's dumb. I don't want to deal with that. I have no interest in dealing with that at all. The fact that you can just pretty much wipe the board, especially early on in the game, really solid against tokens, even tokens that have somehow been buffed up. Just kill stuff. Just kill so much stuff. And, obviously everyone's saying, play a Planeswalker for 3, drop a Liliana, drop a Nissa, so many, great options. And with things like Copter out of the format, I hate to keep going back to this. Some of those early Planeswalkers suffered so badly because of the fact that Copter just fly over the top and ping the Planeswalkers off. You could now clear the board and start afresh with a Lily that's ticked up 1. That's really, really solid. And I'm sure people will look to abuse Yahini and his expertise, because it's dumb. It's so dumb. Even just like chump blocking into creatures, and your opponent thinks like Hakuna Matata, all life is good. No, betrayal. Like Yahini, that's just enough damage to really kill some solid stuff, especially if you've attacked with a whole bunch of servos or thopters, and you've taken that first point of damage off some creatures there. So really, really like the expertise, but not as much as I'm digging the mythic for black, and that is the Herald of Anguish. It is for 5 generic and 2 blacks, a total of 7. He's a demon with Improvise. Your artifacts can help cast a spell Each artifact you tap after you've done activating mana abilities, pay for 1. Flying, at the beginning of your end step, each opponent discards a card, pay 2, generic and black, sack an artifact, target creature gets -2, -2 until end of turn. Are you serious? Like, you already have Demon of Dark Schemes, which is dumb. Now you're going to give me something like this to also top the curve, and like, games will slow down a little bit, right? Now there's no Copter, now there's no Emrakul. Games are going to start slowing down because that's just like, rush that out, cool, win the game. Improvise allows you to pay this guy down to 2 generic, right? Now, in a mono black deck, this is a bit easier, obviously a lot easier. In a dual color deck, it's a little bit trickier, but Demon of Dark Schemes, right? When he enters the battlefield, creatures get -2, -2 until end of turn, right? If you're tapping a whole bunch of like servos or Thopters, for example, to pay for this guy, to pay for the Herald, you can bring the Herald down to 2, right? So then for, I think 8, for 6, for Demon of Dark Schemes, you can then play, kill all those tokens. They've already been tapped anyway. They've already served their purpose. You're now left with 2 5/5 flyers. One of them can help take down a creature. The other one can bring stuff back from your graveyard. You've generated a crap ton of energy from doing this. That's dumb. That's really, really dumb. You've also got Westvale, which you can play in these decks. Create a whole bunch of tokens. Can't get to your demons. That's fine. We'll just bring the old Profane Prince around and just smash you in the face with him. Like, mono black is going to be filthy. There is so many solid cards. Fatal Push, great removal there. Things like Grasp of Darkness, excellent for getting rid of pesky stuff like Avacyn from the format. You've now got 2 great endgame creatures in Herald of Anguish and Demon of Dark Schemes. You can go wide with tokens. You can support it with Westvale. Liliana's dumb. Even the Oath of Liliana is dumb. That's a great combat trick around getting rid of those decks that are just built around 1 card or 1 early game creature. Like a Thing in the Ice, for example, doesn't protect itself against that. Things like Bristling Hydras, that's got to die. Like, there are so many solid cards in black. I am so glad there was not another black Planeswalker to just further add to this evilness. Because got Omnix as well, card draw, creature removal. There is just, black's dumb. Black is dumb. There's dumb cards in this. Can't wait to build a mono black deck. Is it going to be energy? I'm not sure, but mono black tokens, if you can make that a thing, maybe you have to go black white. Probably have to go black white just so you can pump out stuff like Servo Exhibition and Angel Invention and stuff. But if you can just keep it mono black, there is just a world of possibility once you enter the mid game, and you're just going to get wrecked by giant, dirty-looking flyers that just fly and haste and lifelink and are indestructible. Ugh, bad. But great if you love black. So I really like this color. Yahini's solid, the Mythic's solid. There's some great commons and early game cards to add to already a strong meta, and let's see where black takes us. It's going to be a really fun color to build around. But have I got it wrong? Is black terribly underpowered and all crap cards? I doubt it, but tell me if you think I am. We've just got the artifacts, the dual colors, and probably just touch on that land quickly that they spoiled left to go. So maybe shoot one more video in this series. But jump in the comments, loving the feedback that you guys have been throwing at me. Some of the questions, some of the things that I haven't picked up on, just been great. Hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed the content, and can't wait to keep chatting Magic with you guys. Super pumped for my pre-release. It's tomorrow night. Yes, tomorrow night here in Australia. So hopefully I can get a video up of the pre-release kit once I get mine. And fingers crossed, I get Aether Basket as my Mythic. That's kind of what we're like. Massive fingers crossed for. So thanks again, guys. Can't wait to talk Magic with you again soon. I've been Coops from the Whole Box and Dice. Peace, guys.